Hello again, it's Mr. Pete, and this is July 5th, 2025, and this is also a temporary video, and I'm in beautiful Studio G right now. So I don't think I've ever done this, but I'm going to do a walk around of Studio G. It's a terrible mess because I'm in the process of filming out here, plus helping my buddy sell things, and it's not selling. But did you watch my video at the auction recently where I bought this lathe? And if you did, at the beginning I did a selfie, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And I was shocked at my own appearance. I hadn't shaved. There was hair growing out of my ears and out of my nose. Matter of fact, it looked like there was steel wool stuck up my nose. Why didn't my wife tell me? But since then, I did go to Dennis, my barber, a Christian man who I love, and he took care of that. But in fact, as I said, it looked like I had steel wool in my nose like this, which I did for comic relief, if you will. Now, the camera's going to be shaky, and I'm taking it off the selfie mode here presently. Tell your friends about this if you like these little tours, because this will be temporary. I'm a little embarrassed at how this place looks, but that's real life. And at the moment it is 85 degrees in here, 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's not too bad yet, but we're going to a picnic here in a little while up in Aurora at my nephew's house. So, all right, let's get on with the tour. Bear with me. I suppose some of you have never seen a full tour of Studio G, and it's different every day, so this, even if it's not new to you. All right, let's start here at the bench with the, well, I'm not going to go through the toolboxes, that would take forever, but the workbench is a mess because I'm in the middle of making a video. I did straighten up just a little bit, but you can see I got the evaporust going here, and got my 2 drill presses. Way too many tools. I'm getting rid of stuff regularly, as you know. Toolbox loaded with wrenches, and I hope to never turn another wrench in my life. Remember that my YouTube channel is coming to a stop within about a year. And I've got so much stuff, like why would I have 50 pairs of gloves? And I hate gloves, I never wear them. I got rid of most of my books and manuals. There's some really neat models up there, but you know, kids will not put models together anymore. It just sickens me. I do love this bandsaw. I've talked about it quite a bit. Now, in regards to the South Bend mill, this will be for sale very soon. But I was going to make one last video on it, and I've started to set up for it, but I'm going to tram that head, and that'll be a standalone video, and a few other things I want to do with it. But that's why I have all my tramming instruments right here to show you the different variations of doing that job. Although I've done that endlessly, and maybe you're sick of it, but there's always new people out there. And I got to get back to this beautiful little closing mill. And remember that I haven't forgotten about this 9-inch South Bend here. And we will be getting back to that, although it is virtually identical except in length to my new acquisition here. And I hope you watch the video on that. And there'll be many videos on this. Not many, 3 or 4, because this will be for sale. If you watch one of my videos coming up, I am brokenhearted about my channel and the heat and my health and all of that, and that's why I'm just slowing down. And of course, I don't want to whine on this particular video, but the decline of my channel is so precipitous that it's measurable, and I'm not blaming anybody. It's my fault. And YouTube's, you know, this algorithm. So anyway, I've done a lot of work on this already, and I'm not done by any means. You see there's parts laying here, so watch for those videos. If you like South Bend lathes. I have endless supplies and amounts of tools and fasteners. In fact, I've been going through some of this stuff. I've gotten rid of a lot. You'd never know it. But I'm really trying not to buy anymore, but it's kind of a sickness, of course. And I've got more fasteners here and in the basement than Ace Hardware does. And I just recently went through, you'd never know it, one of these bins. I think it's this one, 1/2-inch bolts. I threw away over half of them. So I'm gonna go through this. For instance, here, this is so heavy I can't even lift it. And just how many 3/8 hex bolts does a fella need? 2 a year? So a lot of that stuff, it has no resale value, but if you went to Ace Hardware and purchased everything right here that I'm pointing at, it would be $2,000. Because, you know, they get 75 cents for a bolt, as you well know. A little cheaper when you get them in bulk. Now, I just dropped the bolt. I will not pick that up. That will get swept up. There's a nice piece of copper. And C-clamps, I got a million of them, and they are unsaleable. My wife straightened up this. This was really a mess. You know, oh, I forgot that I had those rags. I'm in the middle of this filthy job, and I didn't realize I had rags. I ended up using paper towels. Oh, what a travesty. As I mentioned before, I'm helping my friend and roommate from college clean out his basement. He has Parkinson's and can never work again. And he's a woodworker and was a woodworking teacher. So that's why we've got a mess here, as you will see presently. But I've got the tractor out of here for the summer. It's up in Mendota, Illinois, because in early September, my buddy Dwight and I are going to Mackinac, Michigan, and taking that tractor ride over the bridge. So that's where the tractor is right now. And I want to sell it anyway. Got my grandson's Kawasaki in here, and I got a mow here. You can hear a spite mower right now, can't you? All right, I've been trying to sell these things for my friend. So here's hardwood. I've had it on all week, and this will get burned here later this week. No call for it. These clamps, I guess people don't use these long clamps anymore because there's no interest in this. I thought I could make some money for them and sell some stuff, and no, that's junk. When I went to that auction last week, they sold piles and piles of corded tools, usually about 10 at a time, drills, saws, sawzalls, bandsaws, $5 for a stack of it. No wonder I can't get anybody to buy this stuff. And it all works. Woodworkers don't watch my channel. All right, I really should go fishing, and I will. The South Bend will be for sale. There's a man in Texas that claims he wants it, but I don't know. That's too far. Well, I wish the scrub cadet was out of the way, but again, here's stacks of stuff from my friend. I just hate these boxes, don't you? So that's all going out. Most of these are empty, but you know, there's huge quantities of abrasives and all of that, and well, it's not saleable. Stuff under here I'm going to get rid of. I never did demonstrate the use of that little bender, and I know it's dark here. Get this piece of walnut out of the way. That's the last of my engine collection. Well, there's a few up here, but all of that stuff's going to the Pontiac Threshermans. I love these little old engines, but no one else does. I thought maybe I'd be making a video on the True Cut armature lathe, and you know, there was quite a bit of interest in that particular video where I undercut the mica on a commutator, and people like that, believe it or not, even though that's totally lost technology, or 90% so. All right, let's start with a new scene. There's some nice wood here, but you know, people like to play video games, not do woodworking. I hope you watched my video where I kind of reconditioned this beautiful Rikon saw, and it's just pushed off to the side. It will be for sale here in the fall. I did sell that Milwaukee. It's virtually brand new, but I've sold it to my grandson. And there's more tools. This is all my friend's stuff, and I'm going over there on Monday, today's Saturday, and bring home lots more. Finally getting to the bottom of it. That's my grandson's stuff, mainly for his motorcycle. I got to pressure wash some of the siding on this old shack I live in. That's my son-in-law's Craftsman. And I love this little scooter here, but it's gonna go. It's gonna go. And I haven't forgotten about this. There'll be another video or two on it, and it too will be for sale. Let's have a quick review here. The Rikon bandsaw is for sale in the fall. The South Bend shaper. This green machine. The South Bend mill. And hundreds of tools, maybe even thousands of tools. I've got to start bundling them, and this will be for sale. This is really a nice little machine. I'm so glad I bought it. By the way, somebody said, well, the video just came out this morning, but I bought the gears for this separately. Remember, things at an auction get separated, so the change gears, where did I put them? I don't even know where they're at right now. But anyway, I told you, I guess they're over here. I told people I paid $250 for the gears. Yeah, there they are. Remember, they were kind of rusty. $250. And somebody said, that's not $250 is a lot. No, it was $2.50. So that gives you a little preview of what I will be selling. And I hope you enjoyed the walk around of the studio and a little bit of a behind the scenes activity. Well, not activity. When I built this garage 15 years ago, I decided to put in 3 doors. So this is a standard size door. And then on the front, those are 10-foot doors, and they're 9 foot high, so that I can get the tractor in. But normally, when it's hot in here, I open up at least one of these doors, and then I love to sit here in the evening because a beautiful breeze comes through here. And I kind of had that planned, you know, because this direction is west, so we normally got the westerly wind coming in. There's the spite mower. I don't know, people, they know I'm filming and they instantly start their engines. I started to take a bike ride and I had forgotten to charge that. So it was a short bike ride. So anyway, at my buddy's house, there was endless supplies of wood that I had to bring home here and get rid of. I know it's windy, maybe you can't hear me now. But here's just a sample of some of the stuff that I brought home, including bundles of hardwood flooring from 1939 or 1949 when that house was built. So all of this will get burnt, as well as I'm in my neighbor's yard now, which is actually my son-in-law. All of this wood. And we're just cutting it up for firewood. He didn't want too much in that big burn pile over there because the flames kill the tree. So all of this came from that shop. They were longer, of course, and a lot of scrap iron that you see in that trailer. There were endless amounts of wood. Now I'll go back in, you probably can't hear me anyway. So here's my trailer that I've been using for hauling, and I brought home quite a bit of scrap copper. His house had copper gutters on it, and there's copper pipe, copper downspout. I think copper brings about $2 a pound here locally. Scrap iron does not. I talked to a scrapper the other day and he said it's $150 a ton. It just isn't worth messing with, even for men that are scrappers. You would never know that I have gotten rid of stuff, but I threw away massive quantities of old oil and grease, but I still got a lot. And I need to go through all these funnels and grease guns and get rid of some of that. This empty toolbox is for sale. It's in perfect shape. And there is the last of my pattern making supplies, leather fillet and wax. And I think I'll throw that away yet today. Any of those little container boxes you see there that are upside down means that I threw away whatever was in them. A lot of small engine parts and tools. I guess I'm done with small engines, although I always loved them. He had a lot of battery tools, but some of them are real old, and the battery, I don't know how many batteries I already threw out. What's in there? More batteries. And like this Milwaukee, someone told me that's real old technology. Some of this isn't even lithium, and it's just totally worthless. Now there's a brand new battery. I took it out of the package, but it's brand new, but that doesn't mean that it's any good. I don't know. Nobody wants the older battery tools. I don't blame them. I think I told you that I actually hated battery tools when I had the Makitas and the old DeWalt's and that. Without lithium, every time I got to the top of the ladder, the battery was dead. So I just hated them. You're better off dealing with a cord. The newer stuff is so much better, but it's still limited in its lifetime. In other words, if you were using this, shoot, how many 2x4s could you cut before you had to swap batteries? It's easier to swap extension cords. I know that people are going to disagree with me, but some of this, it doesn't get it. Well, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the little walk around. I probably should do that down in the basement shop too, because that changes almost daily, doesn't it? Or at least mine does, as I rearrange things and acquire new things. And I told you I wasn't going to any more auctions, but I did go to that one last week, and I loved it. And I guess, you know what, I'm going to continue to do that, but I will not buy as much. And if I do buy some items, I will flip them, and I think some people appreciate that, but I do not want to come across as a commercial channel where that's all I do. But I think there's some people that think, how dare you on a YouTube channel sell some of your junk? Well, so be it, I guess. I got the window covered to cut the glare, and so that the FBI can't see what I'm doing. I don't trust the government or any of the agencies, never did. I don't think I ever told the full story on the Rock Island Arsenal trip. Remember, I had to take that video down by virtue of the authorities on the island over in Rock Island. And I believe I'm still banned. I don't think I could go on the island. I couldn't get through the security anymore. Would you like me to tell that story? I would like to re-edit that video and put it on, because they claimed that I was violating security, even though I had full permission by the Army Corps of Engineers, and I even talked to high-ranking officers and everything else. And then the whole thing backfired on me, and they called from the Army, called the house here. Have I told this story? And said, if you don't take that video down, we're coming to your house. Now, that's one of the reasons I hate the federal government, and you've watched my video on the FBI coming to the house. So, and the IRS has been here, not in this garage, but in my house, right next door here, 50 feet away. The IRS actually came and spent the whole day investigating me. So you wonder why I hate the government? That's just a few of the reasons. And you know what? The IRS was really mad at me. You know why they were mad? Because they couldn't find anything wrong. They couldn't charge me. They couldn't make me pay more taxes. Now, I know I'm ranting now, but I know that there's many, many people out there that have had these experiences. And I'm not a rich man. I'm strictly middle class. And anything I do have is self-made. And remember, I've never received anything from the government in the way of any kind of entitlements or anything. I'm the one that pays for one of them, that pays for the entitlement for people that won't work. I have worked every day of my life since I was 13 or 14, and I'm working today. I'm 80. I don't need to do anything. But I have, and I'm not bragging by any means, but there is something in my DNA that is a work ethic that not everyone has. And that kind of shocks me, because what is there in life if you don't have a career, a job, and all of that? Well, you have your family and all of that, but the material things, everything you see here, these material things are temporary. They have really no value in the afterlife, in eternity. This is nothing. This will all be melted down and burned up. And, you know, I don't want you people out there to think that I'm real materialistic. It might appear that, but I never took value in automobiles and fancy houses and fancy shoes. You see what kind of clothes I wear. I could afford better clothes, but it doesn't appeal to me. It's not important. It's important when you're 19 and you're looking for girls. But I needed more than snazzy clothes to attract the girls. Well, enough jabbering. Leave a comment that is not too abusive. And watch some of my other videos. Remember, there's about 2,000 videos now, including my video courses. You know what shocks me? Sometimes people say, you know, I didn't realize you had a video course on the Bridgeport. How could you not know? I've talked about it for 15 years. But all of a sudden somebody will say, hey, send me some info. How do I order your and I tell them, I'm not going to tell you because I don't like to push that stuff. I am not pushy. I hope I'm not anyway. All right. I keep saying so long for now, and then I ramble on and on. Probably nobody listening right now anyway. All right. See you in a future video. Tell your friends about this temporary video because it'll only be on for 1 week. And bye-bye. This is a postscript. Endless amounts of wrenches and tools. You know, every drawer is just loaded with them. And how many wrenches do you really need? But I just like the looks and the feel of wrenches. But in all sincerity, you can see that I'm stark raving mad. Why would I need this many little wrenches? And I have equal amounts downstairs in Studio B. But these are just lovely little things. And there's tons of them, all different brands. So what? You know, I keep saying I'm done, and I'm not. I'm in the house now. But anyway, in this bag is the Ruger pistol that I showed the other day, because we're going on that picnic today. And I'm giving that beautiful gun. I'm not going to take it out now because that's in another video. It's the original Ruger Mark II. Beautiful gun. Gorgeous gun. But what I wanted to tell you here, when I go over to my buddy's house and I'm selling his woodworking tools and so on, but for those of you that are interested in archaeology, and in southern Illinois there is a site called the Coster site. But anyway, why am I showing you this? Because this man, Stuart Strever, and there's a picture of him, and I never met him, but he's a very famed archaeologist, but he grew up in that house that I am servicing and emptying the shop. So I thought that was interesting. That, and you know what the owner told me? He said there are holes in the backyard. That house was built in '49. there are holes and dips in the backyard because a young Stuart Straver was digging up his own yard looking for things. They were fairly near a creek. So, he got an early start on that. And by the way, one last post note. He did lectures, but I never saw him. My friend did. He said he saw him a couple times at high school auditoriums. But my brother and I, when we were in college at Illinois State, we went to a lecture by famed archaeologist Louis Leakey. Louis Leakey. Raise your hand if you have heard of him. If you haven't, you live in a walnut shell. Now I truly am done. Over and out.